We have deferred to the ranking member on his side. We have given him the ability to choose to have their full ranking member. Hold on. Please tell me that you recognize how foolish and childish this is.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. I try to pride myself on finding the stories that go below the radar. Obviously, you probably thought I'd be talking about the vote to formally start the Biden impeachment inquiry, or Hunter Biden's press conference outside of the Capitol when he should have been inside of the Capitol giving testimony under oath. But there's tons of people covering that. I like to go below the surface, deeper into the news to see what happened that really exhibits the buffoonery of politics. Well, today is a great example of that because we have this exchange between two members of the House Financial Services Committee, the chairperson of it being Bill Huizenga and the ranking member Al Green. Needless to say, tempers flared in this exchange. Hey, you see what I did there with the whole sound effect thing and everything? It's pretty cool, right? Listen, we're going to get into this exchange, quibbling over the rules of the committee and fighting over who's going to get the last word, if you believe it or not. But before we do all that, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the shows. And if you like what you see and hear in this or any of the other videos on this channel, smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that good stuff, because it all feeds that dang YouTube algorithm. Thanks so much for all that you do to spread news about the show, and to all you new people out there. I hope I finally earned your subscription today. Please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. So like I said, this video is all about quibbling over rules. It's almost like a dual temper tantrum between the two sides because they each think that they should get the last word in this committee. Now, the committee is actually holding some important subject matter. They're discussing how the Iranian regime is transferring money out to Hamas and what the Biden administration policies have done to facilitate that. Remember the $6 billion that was sent to Qatar and released by the Biden administration for Iran? Well, did that money go to Hamas or not? Very, very important topic, but not so important that these two sides aren't going to keep fighting over nonsense. So I'm sure by now you understand how these committees work. There's an opening statement by the majority chairperson. There's a statement by the ranking member in the minority. There are statements from the witnesses that are going to be appearing. And then there's alternating questioning back and forth. First the majority, then the minority. And typically, because the majority has more members, the last word goes to the majority. Unless you're Congressman Al Green and you think that you should always get the last word. Watch this exchange between the chairperson, Bill Huizenga, and Al Green over how the committee should conclude its business. It's infuriating.
With that, the ranking member from Texas, Mr. Green, is recognized for 5 minutes.
I reserve and ask that you go to the next member that's available for questioning.
We're sorry, Mr. Green, we're going to have you, this will be our last, this is our last. So it is, unless we are willing to do a second round, which I'm happy to do. I know there's more questions.
Mr. Chair, I would refer you to the committee rules, and I'll quote, "The chair shall, so far as practicable, defer to the ranking member with respect to the order of recognition for minority members. I have no additional minority members, and I reserve, and I ask that you go to a member who is prepared to speak."
I would, but you're the last one.
So basically, there's nobody left on the Democratic side of the committee to ask questions of the witnesses that are there from the Biden administration. So Green wants the chair, Huizenga, to skip him and go to the last remaining Republican on the committee, and then he wants to go and have the last word. But that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And I know that Green is trying to quote a rule about consulting with the ranking member on how the Democrats handle themselves in the order they go in. But if he's the last one, then there's no more consulting needed. He's the last one. That's it. You're done. But he doesn't think the rules apply to him, and he wants to change these rules.
Your side.
Happy to engage in this conversation about our rules. You have control of your side of the aisle. If you don't have any more members, you are the last one, so therefore it's your turn. I have more members on my side, and that's the discretion of the chair. So I'm not doing anything funky with the rules. It's your turn. So I know you'd like to have the last word, but that's not how this works. We have more members over on this side. The majority is going to get the last word. So the gentleman can bypass his ability to have a question. I'm happy to go to a second round of questioning because I know I certainly have more questions. So does the gentleman agree to a second round?
So I think what the chairman here is doing is being pretty accommodating. He's saying, listen, if you want to go around the horn again, we can do that, but there's nobody left on your side for this round of questioning. So you gonna go or what here?
Yeah, you should shit or get off the pot.
If you want more time for everyone, he'll grant more time for everyone. But you just can't get special accommodation here and go last. But watch Green here. He keeps pushing this envelope.
The gentleman would ask that the chair adhere to the rules, and in so doing, respect my right to pass.
Respect my authority!
And I appreciate your highly technical terminology of funky, but this is, in my opinion, something that is appropriate under the rules.
The gentleman,
reserve.
the gentleman will understand that I am adhering to the rules, which is you get to determine. You had the ranking member go first. You always nicely defer to your members and always go last on your side of the aisle. If we are ending this hearing, it is the majority's not only right, but because we have enough people over here, as we alternate, the gentleman from Pennsylvania is going to go last. So it is the ranking member's choice as to whether he wants to claim his 5-minute time.
Okay, now I want you to pay attention to what's going on in the background here. You see these two people wearing blue behind the chair? Watch what goes on there, because this is committee staff. The one on the left is from the Democrats. The one on the right is from the Republicans. And they're going to be having their own little discussion while the business of the committee is going forward.
To the maximum impact. But yes, we have a Democrat here. We have. It also says defer to the ranking member on the.
So it's the job of these staff members to sort of conduct the nuts and bolts of the committee hearing and follow procedures and all that. They're the ones who are supposed to know what's going on. And they feed that information to their members on the committee. And you see they're passing notes to the chairman and they're having their own little argument back and forth about how to do things. Clearly, Huizenga is getting perturbed here by what's going on.
We have deferred to the ranking member on his side. We have given him the ability to choose to have their full ranking member. Hold on. Please tell me that you recognize how foolish and childish this is.
Uh-oh, shots fired. Here we go. Now, was that comment directed at Congressman Green, the staff behind him? There's going to be a little bit of a discussion, a heated discussion over that comment. Let's get ready to rumble here, folks.
Well,
So,
I recognize,
no, sir.
excuse me, allow me to respond to that it was not necessary for you to use the term foolish and childish.
Okay, so the
It was
chair
not.
shall,
I have
so
been
far as
very respectful. Hold on just a
practicable-
moment. I've been very respectful of you. Now you will respect me.
Respect my authority!
Respect me if you don't respect the rules.
Gentleman knows I have full respect
Well,
for
then
him.
foolish and childish is not the way to address a
member.
member of Congress.
Excuse me, sir, I was actually referring to the staff behind us that was interrupting our proceedings. So,
Well, I would
with that,
defend the staff. I don't think you refer to the staff as foolish.
Actually, I did as I turned
Well,
around
you can
looking
do
at
it,
your staff
but
and our
I
staff.
would say to you that that's inappropriate
Okay.
for a member of
So,
You're behaving like children.
He's being a jerk.
Do you see how this is evolving into a schoolyard scuffle here? It's so freaking childish. You're in Congress, for God's sakes. You're supposed to be leading this country, and you're quibbling over bullshit.
You can act like a man! What's the matter with you?
This is what we send you to Washington for? This is what you're getting paid to do? Really? We're talking about a committee that should be examining how Iran is getting their money to Hamas. And this is what is happening in the halls of Congress. It's absolutely unbelievable.
would the gentleman like to
staff.
proceed, or would you like to
The
continue to argue
member,
about the
the
process?
gentleman, the member, I reserve.
So the gentleman, just to be clear, the ruling of the chair will be that the gentleman is forfeiting his 5 minutes. The gentleman from Pennsylvania will be recognized, and that will be the end of the hearing. That is your choice.
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
That is your choice.
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
I haven't done anything yet, I'm giving you your options, or we can continue on with a second round. I'm happy to then go back, if you would like to get the ranking member, or Ms. Garcia, or any of your other members here, happy to do that. But either I'm going to recognize you for your 5 minutes, or I'm going to recognize the gentleman from Pennsylvania for 5 minutes, and when the gentleman from Pennsylvania is done, the hearing is done.
Again, I think he's being reasonable here. I think Huizenga is trying to be accommodating to Al Green, and it just broke down into name calling and buffoonery.
I did not!
Did too.
Did not!
Did too.
So
What is your choice?
May I ask you a question? Would you be so kind as to receive a question as chair?
Absolutely.
So what your contention is that the gentleman from Pennsylvania will be the very last person?
Unless we have more members on our side or your side show up.
Would you hold for a moment, please? Would you?
Happy to.
Now, what follows is basically a suspension of the hearing while Al Green tries to figure shit out on his side of the aisle. You see, the chair's disgusted. This is at 4 times speed right now, and they're just going to be going at this for a while, so it might be a good time for us to take a break as well. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Yep, we're still waiting. They haven't made a decision about what they're going to do. It looks like they're horse trading back and forth between them, trying to come to some compromise here. It's completely infuriating, the waste that goes on in government. Oh, wait, look, here we're going to go.
All right, for the fine folks on C-SPAN that are riveted by what has been going on with the discussion of our committee rules, tradition is that we alternate majority to minority. The majority always starts, the majority always closes. That request has been to be changed.
Oh boy, so it looks like we're going to have Huizenga cave in to Al Green in some way here, it looks like. This is typical. You got the shamelessness of Al Green and the spinelessness of Republicans like Huizenga here, who want to look statesman-like, but are not sticking to their guns about the rules. He's looking for special treatment in this committee, and it looks like the Republicans are going to accommodate him in some way.
I had having an understanding with the ranking member now that we will be, at his request, running through the rest of our committee members, the Republican committee members. He will then claim the last 5 minutes of questioning, at which point I will grant him an extended time for a closing remark, at which point then I will have that same amount of time for my closing remarks to end the hearing.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Unreal. You see, this is what's wrong with Congress. Democrats think the rules don't apply to them, and Republicans just cave in all the time. I don't get why you have to make this special accommodation for Al Green to get the last word on questioning of a hearing that clearly very few Democrats are attending at this point. Clearly, he's going to be defending the Biden administration in some way, excusing the $6 billion that went to Qatar that is supposed to be used for humanitarian efforts, but the fungibility of this money is somehow going from Qatar to Hamas, and it's not going for right purposes. And we're never going to get an answer to the real question of the committee because they care more about arguing about bullshit rules than they do about actually conducting the business of the people and getting down to real facts here. It's completely infuriating. It's completely buffoonish. This is a hot mess of a committee. For Huizenga to cave in on this, I know he wants to get on with the rest of his day and all of that, but at some point, guys, these Republicans got to make a stand. They got to say this far, no further. Stop pushing the boundaries here. Follow regular order. Follow the rules of the committee. Follow the traditions of the House.
Oh, jeez, have some backbone.
You can't always make the special snowflakes feel good here. Just because he wants to get the last word? It's disgusting. And what good is that last word at a committee that clearly, while important, nobody seems to give a shit about? I don't get that at all, especially because there's so much going to be going on during this day, including the Biden impeachment inquiry vote, including statements about Hunter Biden possibly being in contempt, including Hunter Biden's press conference. There's going to be no news coverage of this. There's going to be no commentary on this. And it's just going to go passing by the wayside as just another day in D.C. But that's why I want to do this channel, folks. I want to talk about these shenanigans and buffoonery that goes on, so that way you understand that even on these little points, you're seeing the shamelessness of Democrats and the spinelessness of Republicans. But listen, hey, that's just my opinion. I got a little heated there, I'll admit it. But listen, I'm passionate about these issues. But I want to know what you think about this. In fact, let's make this the topic of the day for you to comment on. Would you have given in, if you were Huizenga, to the demands of Al Green and the Democrats, or would you want to also just get on with your day? It's not that big of a deal anyway, and just give the baby their bottle and do what you want afterwards. Leave a comment and let's talk about that. And please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. By the way, guys, this is the last edition of This Week in DUMBmocracy on the channel for 2023. We're ending it here. Starting next week, we're kicking off Buffoon of the Year, our end of the year review of all things buffoonery. We're going to have a lot of guests on the show having panel discussions about different buffoons and whether or not they're deserving of different awards. We have a ton of different categories of awards, so you guys can pick the Buffoon of the Year right around the end of the year going into 2024. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some fun discussions there. I bring back a lot of friends of mine that you may not have heard of, but are dear to my heart because they helped me on this journey in creating this channel. Some are going to be boomers and they're going to have their opinions. Some are going to be younger than me and you're going to hear from them as well. It's all perspectives, all points of view that we're going to have. We're also going to try to get some special guest interviews as well. It'll be a first for the channel since very, very long ago when we had guests on, and it's going to be really, really cool. I hope you tune in for it every day. It's going to be going on every day, including on weekends on the channel, starting on next Monday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you join me for that. And I hope you join me in the comments discussing this video, as well as any other shenanigans and buffoonery that we talk about every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.